the really top tier men, they've all got custom made supplements. They get stem cell research. They're all on TRT. They've got physiotherapists. They've got all these things to counteract the years of living in our modern world. So I got this. I was just looking at this one pill, literally just thinking like, this is a competitive edge. Because when your micronutrients are all fine, suddenly you're going to be focused more. You're going to be less likely to develop poor symptoms like titties and low testosterone. Because probably a large part of these things that we go through, like depression and like fat deposits and weakness, laziness, fatigue, probably a lot of it just comes through our diet and the things that we consume. I'd like to dedicate a part of my life, maybe soon, like when it's really the focus. Right now, my focus is really on business. But when it is the focus, to dedicate a lot of time to becoming the most optimum version of myself, physically and mentally. To try and set some like really, the way I set business goals and YouTube goals, it's always been quite big, isn't it? Imagine if I do the same thing for like optimize, like biohacking or whatever it is, like to optimize my longevity, my life, my physical health, strength, and mental health. So I set a goal like, okay, get to above 1,000 nanograms deciliter, like the level that people on TRT get to. Try and get to that naturally. Fix all the other random health stats. Pack on the most muscle that I've ever put on in the shortest amount of time. Get like a rock solid, like bulletproof mental state. Because it's with these things that you can achieve. You get to live like a guy who is a warrior amongst boys. I don't say these things to put down like the average man. But I am saddened at the state of men these days. And I understand why it's so difficult, because it took me years to get out of that rut. It took me years to be able to just make some progress. When the average guy is starting off, like his baseline, his foundation, is wide hips and titties, things are a lot harder for us than they were for our previous generations. In some ways. You see, with previous generations, they had these wars, they had these Great Depressions and everything, and we kind of like didn't think about those things growing up. But I think our hard times are here. I think it started with first the weakness of men starting. It started with the addictions that have formed, and now the harder like financial times are here. There's chaos, and like World War III's pretty much been going on for a good few months now, even though it's not been declared that it's a war, but it technically is. That, I don't know if that's a controversial belief or not, but that's my thing anyway. I do believe World War III already started a while ago, what you're seeing in like Ukraine. And I think in the history books they will end up starting World War III at a date before the current date, where they'll say, oh, on this date China and Russia did this, and on this date China, Saudi Arabia, Brazil, Russia, India, and I think South Africa, BRICS, they made their own system called BRICS, and that became their own currency and everything. I think in the history books they'll end up talking about a time that's already went past when they describe in World War III. If there's ever a time to become a stronger man and to get rid of your titties, it's probably now. How do you do that? You get onto self-improvement, you stop eating shit, you stop drinking, bro, come on. You stop smoking weed. There's no value gained. And my video on weed recently started getting a lot of views. It's just titled Weed, so you could probably just search like Hamza Weed. And the amount of people who have commented on it recently, just coping and saying, oh, well, this is just you. Weed makes me creative. In the video, I literally say like, oh, there's going to be people who comment saying weed makes me creative. And there was literally hundreds of people who commented the exact same thing. But weed makes me creative. No, it doesn't. You know what weed does? It increases your prolactin, so you get gynecomastia. Weed gives you titties. Oh, but it makes me creative, bro. Yeah, I love to make music whilst I'm smoking weed. Like, Tell me you're a loser without telling me you're a loser, bro. I love to smoke weed whilst I make music, man. You know, just listen to my SoundCloud, bro. Like, you know, help me out, man. Share my link, bro. I'm a 24-year-old rapper. I'm just trying to get started, man. Fire emoji. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it.